Hey guys, it's Noah from Carter Arts, and today I'll be talking about art classes, more specifically middle school and high school classes that I took and maybe you guys will be taking too. A little bit before I talk about that, I'm going to talk a little bit about the artwork. So I've had a recent obsession with futuristic people and armor, and I like using the different shapes for different armor. I started off using the medium Kirtake Zig cartoonist number 22 brush pen, but I didn't really like the line I was getting with that, so I switched to the Copic Gaston Fude, and I think it was a little late for that, but I still like how it turned out. So I'm going to talk about before I took these classes. So I was mostly self-taught until I reached middle school. Then I took art classes both 7th and 8th grade. But I do kind of regret that. But you'll see why. I didn't really like the way these classes were structured. They were very introductory and they focused on the basics, which I would not recommend if you already learned the basics or currently learning, because they teach it in a very slow pace. And I would recommend taking high school classes, focus more on your own self style sort of. And you would focus on a element of art before actually creating like finished pieces, which was kind of frustrating. However, I do have many memories of that class, and I don't know, maybe that taught me a little bit of something. But once I went to high school, I think art classes became more fun, and yeah, I would recommend high school classes like I said before. However, I've only taken 3 3 or 4 high school classes, so I can't really say anything right now. So high school classes focus more on the outcome rather than the basics. So if you're trying to advance your techniques a little bit, I would go with the high school classes. It also focuses more on advanced techniques such as color theory and composition, for example. Another major part of my class that we learned about famous paintings and like the artists, so we would look at their art and try and learn from it basically, which I still recommend doing because you can actually learn a lot just from looking at old masters basically. Design was mostly about learning advanced techniques and famous people and paintings, and that was probably one of my favorite classes that I've taken. Also, I should mention high school has more people that are more serious about art and not just looking for an easy A like a lot of people. So if you're trying to look for people that would inspire you, or just trying to surround yourself in people with similar interests, you're going to see more of that in high school. I would also say that the guidelines are looser, so you can do more of your own thing, which I found really fun, and I think you guys would find too. It also is more serious, like I said, but that was pretty much my design class. Now, on to drawing. It's more of your bog standard sort of art class, So you're gonna see more pencil drawings and like pastels, charcoal. I don't actually remember lots of stuff from this class, but I think it was pretty fun. I wrote down a couple things. I said gesture and realism, so you'll probably be dealing with more, well, gesture and realism. So at least, well, I guess I should say this. These are just my classes, but this is probably what you can expect. So I have my general design class, which was just advancing techniques, and drawing is more, yeah, well, exactly that, drawing. And I said 3 or 4 classes because I also was in art club, which was really fun. My teacher would bring in local artists to each meeting, so basically we would look at their art and they would explain their process, and we would basically replicate or try to replicate their techniques, and that was pretty fun. He would often bring in pizza, we would watch movies, and we would do printmaking and just overall just hang out, really. Oh Jesus, that's only been 6 minutes. I thought I would get through this way later, but I guess I can talk about the artwork. So, like I said, I switched pens, which should be coming up in a few minutes, and I've been recently trying to get back into brush pens. I tried them early on and I just couldn't get it down, so I've been trying to get back into that, and I think it's good. And I might do another video on why I use brush pens and why you should too. But yeah, so basically I'm just going in, doing the outlines, and then doing some details and stuff like that. I should also mention that not all of these classes are going to be the same for you as it is for me, and yeah, and it also depends on your teachers, because I had a super chill high school teacher, but you may have a super strict, you know, quote unquote bad teacher, which was kind of the case for my middle school teacher, because he didn't seem super interested in art. Yes, he was the art teacher, but yeah. And as you can see, there's the pen switch, like I was talking about. But anyway, he said he wanted to be a plumber rather than a art teacher, which was kind of I don't know, frustrating, because I kind of wasn't enjoying that class at the time, but yeah, it is what it is. Also, he was only supposed to be the 7th grade art teacher, but when I went into the 8th grade, he changed to being both, which was even more frustrating. Maybe he should have dropped the class then, but I was just gonna see it through, basically. And yeah. What else is there to talk about? Basically, I'll talk a little bit about my process here for drawing armor. I mostly just think about shapes when I'm drawing armor. So you can see there's like a little sort of half circle thing. It's kind of, his head is sort of like a circle and a rectangle mixed together, and like a circle on the side for his like earpiece. And then on his shoulder pads, it's mostly like a square and a circle, basically. So, yeah, that's pretty much how I draw armor. But if you want to see me coloring this, I may do another video. Just comment down below, see if you want to see that. Because I have a kind of odd coloring technique, but I'll get into that in another video. So yeah, so comment if you want to see that. I should probably talk a little bit more about the drawing class because I don't have anything for that. I'm currently in drawing class this semester. So, okay, so basically at our school we have, so if you take design, there's basically 2 design classes. You have design 1 and you have design 2. And then you have drawing 1 and drawing 2. And as a freshman, you can only take drawing 1 and design 1. So I took those as my freshman year, and I'm currently a sophomore. So I'm taking drawing 2 this semester and design 2 next semester. So yeah, and so I'll have the same teacher for both drawing 1 and drawing 2 and design 1 and design 2. But yeah, so far I haven't seen much of a difference between last year and this year, but I'm sure that's going to change soon. Well, actually no, because we have done more gestures than we did last year. Also, last year I was a part of like a life drawing class where it's basically just gesture drawing, and people would volunteer to go as models. We would have, you could start out at 30 seconds, and you go to like 2 minutes, 10 minutes, and then like 20 minutes. And I found that pretty fun. And then the teacher left, which kind of sucked, but they haven't continued it, so I don't know if they will. But I would definitely recommend going to gesture classes because it's pretty fun and you meet new people and it's just a good way to practice. So I did that for a while, and we're just picking it back up in drawing 2, so I get to show off some of my skills. I think we're almost actually done with the drawing. We have 2 minutes left of the drawing. I'm just kind of adding final details in there, but like I was saying with the gesture drawing, we would have like, and then at the end of the day we would do something like fun, like there'd be like 1 minute rounds where you would just pass your paper, or you would do blind contour so you couldn't look at your paper, or modified blind where you could kind of look at your paper but it was mostly at the reference. And we would do like, we would color some, and it was really fun, and I would recommend that if you have that available, or if you're interested. I would definitely do that. But yeah, I think that's all I have to say about art classes. So also I should mention that both of the pens I was using will be linked in the description, so if you want to buy one, they'll be there. And I do recommend these pens for someone who's experienced with brush pen though, because they can be hard to control sometimes, but I will cover that in a different video, so stay tuned for that.